having these friends, having these people that we know that do exactly that, where it's more like take, and there's never ever a give back. And I'm thinking, when we're younger, we have hopefully we have a bazillion friends
Yeah.
that we want to interact with. But as we get older, that kind of friend crew kind of shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. And I think that's kind of one of those major factors. If you've got somebody who is not contributing, not giving back, not showing those friendly gestures, then yeah, eventually you're just going to stop talking with them and move on and kind of, tighten the friend group of really reliable people who are going to reciprocate. So,
And you nailed it. The thing I wanted to just say to elaborate on this reciprocation conversation is that is actually like a very determining factor in our friendships is when you continue to like say, oh, I've known this person since college or whatever. And I text them all the time. I try to ask them like, once a month to do something, and they just never text me back, or they never get back to me, or they never initiate to ask me if I want to do something. That's where what you'll find is that relationships start to fade or diminish. And again, the point of this conversation is, what do people say about you when you're not in the room? Well, now I'm saying like, man, that's weak. Like they don't make an effort. They like pretend they're my friend, or they want to do stuff when it's convenient for them. And so that's what we're talking about sort of with they're not in the room. You're saying like that's really lopsided. Like they're not really returning the favor. They're not making that reciprocal effort to be my friend, to spend time with me. So yeah, you're right. Those circles and those friendships, they start to fade, they diminish because there are just people that don't prioritize or make an effort to call you back or show up sometime when you've invited them somewhere. And that's just simple acts that, tell you a lot about people's how they care about you, their effort level, and then it allows you to sort of make decisions from there and be like, okay, well then I just, I am the type of person that I'll call somebody back, I'll make an effort, I will I'll return their call even if I can't go. I'm kind enough to at least let them know why and give them an explanation. And that's the kind of person I am, but they'll just ghost me or just won't get back to me. And then it's like, okay. So then that just determines a lot about how they feel, we're kind of, evaluating their character at this point, or their value of your relationship or your friendship. Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I think what you brought up is a great point. Yeah, these things shrink quite a bit because we start to, as we get older too and busier, we start to sort of fine tune like who in my life really is trying and doing and acting with principle and wants to with a high regard for who I am and how to treat people at a high level. And then it's fine because we don't have time really.
Right.
Like we have limited time to do stuff. So it's I'm not going to waste my effort and time with all these different people that aren't doing it back.
The
way I am.
And there it is too. I don't know. I was educated on this a couple years back when I was working at my past job and training new employees. And the idea of the golden rule, do unto others as you would like, came up. And this person went, oh, well, that's kind of an old mindset. And I was like, ooh, let me hear this. He goes, well, have you heard of the platinum rule? And I was like, ooh, okay, now I'm intrigued. What is this platinum rule? But this person said, treat people how they would want to be treated. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting perspective, because what is good for me and what is of value to me is important to me, but not necessarily important to the person next to me. And so, again, going back to the idea of principles and the connotation of that, about the positivity of it, it might be subjective slightly to others next to us. And so if we're, exactly what you said about the shrinking group set, why would I waste my time with these people who, are not reciprocating and not giving back when I am trying to give to them and help them out and all that sort of stuff? Is because we go back to, they are not treating you how you would like to be treated. And
I have a question.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, first of all, I think part of this conversation is we can both agree, and I think we're both kind of saying this, is we're doing it without anyone telling us to.
Yes.
So you're Fraser Crane, I think in a show once said, it's what you do when no one else is watching. Like, you just, it's not like a determined thing or being coached or taught to. I mean, obviously pattern socialization when we're growing up as kids, we're taught by our household.
Sure.
But my question is this: why would you give notice to a job? I'm asking you, like, what is your motivation to give 2 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks notice at a job where you're not going to work there anymore? Why wouldn't you just quit? I mean, it's a free market. We can do whatever we want, right? Why would you just walk away and be like, oh, this person's garbage, I don't like my manager?
A lot of people do.
They do.
A lot of people just up and walk away.
So going back to your platinum rule is what reminded me to talk about this. Why would you do the 2 weeks notice and not just be like, oh, I'm done, I don't care, like, I'm out of here?